Secretary for the Environment, Edward Yao, and lawmakers visited several districts to experience the impact of a proposed law banning idling engines. He boarded a taxi to see what it's like for a driver at the end of the queue who switches off his engine and the air conditioning. Under the hot sun, the temperature inside climbed to more than 40 degrees Celsius. Mr. Yao said he understands some drivers want more exemptions from the ban. But the medical sector and pedestrians think otherwise.
I think everybody feels the heat, and I think that's exactly the purpose of having this legislation. The legislation is not tailor-made for a particular group of people, it's for the entire community. So that's why it's important to reach a consensus into what extent we can agree to this bill that, making a norm of switching off the idling engine with reasonable exceptions.
Mr. Yao then visited some minibus stop in Mong Kok and got on one with the engine switched off. He told the driver a public consensus had recently been reached. When the very hot weather warning is issued, the ban on idling vehicles will not apply for the whole day. A visit to some shops in Causeway Bay confirmed most shopkeepers support the ban. This man said he couldn't bear the exhaust fumes from the cars on the street. Mr. Yao said the Bills Committee will discuss whether more exemptions are needed, and if so, whether these would deviate from the law's original intention.
If this consensus is able to be forged through this visit, I think it will make life easier. But of course, I think given there are still some divergent views, I think there needs to be a very sensible, reasonable discussion on matter of details with a view to really bringing all the differences together. As I mentioned, these bills must be built on a general consensus rather than simply counting the number of votes. If we are able to do that, I think that the community would want us to bring forward the bill instead of storing or sort of idling.